finally be normal enough to ask you out.
What? You're gonna ask me out? Oh no, here we go again. Hey internet, it's Jessica and welcome back to Seduce the Otome. That's really weird to say because I haven't played this game in like, what, 2 years or something like that? Anyway, so yeah, I asked you guys a question on my last Seduce Me video if you guys would like me to do the extra routes in the first game because I never got to them. I just did the main boys because I just wanted to do that at the time. And yeah, if anyone didn't know, there's actually like a few gay routes in this one, and there's an extra one with the guy, what's his name, Andrew, so there's that dude there too. So yeah, a lot of you said yes, and I'm kind of curious to see like how their routes are anyway, so we're gonna be doing Suzu's route first today, because I'm interested in her. I think I like her the most out of the two friends, just because like I have a similar personality to her, so I think I'm gonna go with her first, and then we'll go with Naomi and then Andrew, and then we'll see what happens. Anyway, before we get started, if you guys would like to get the game yourself, there's a link in the description, or if you want to check out Micheala Law's work, she's a good friend of mine and she's amazing. She also voices Diana, in case you didn't know that, but she has a lot of other games that she has made since Seduce Me, so I highly recommend that you go check all of them out. Along with that, if you guys want to check out my Let's Play for the main boys, including Seduce Me 1, 2, and the episodes, I'll have a link to the playlist all in the description as well. Alright, let's begin. Alright, so I skipped all like the intro stuff, so we're gonna hang out with Zuzu and Naomi and see what happens.
Are you sure?
I'm sure. I trust these guys to be able to work everything out.
Thank you for trusting us, miss.
We'll have everything done for you by the time you return home.
Don't destroy the house! Remember, we just met these guys and we're just gonna leave our new mansion to these random people that we do not know, but alright.
Alright, we'll wait here while you go get your things.
I was strangely relieved to know that everything was going to be okay while I was gone from the house. I trusted the guys enough to do everything they could do for the house party, so my mind was focused itself on hanging out with my friends. Eventually, I was out the door, walking towards Naomi's car with Naomi and Zuzu. Zuzu grabbed the entire back seat as I took up the passenger side. Naomi started the car and drove off towards the city. It was a nice drive out with my friends. After all had happened, it was good to just go out and forget about my troubles.
Well, since we got you out of the house, we might as well go to the mall and walk around a bit. We did just eat breakfast after all.
Alright. Yeah, that was a good meal though.
Could have had more flavor in my opinion. Suzu, you eat chili peppers when you're bored. Everything you eat always needs more flavor.
You need to teach me, Zuzu. I still can't get over that. Okay, since we're in her room, we gotta agree with the girl. So you gotta teach me. I don't get that. Like, I'm half Sri Lankan, so like spicy food is like in my DNA. But like, if you've never had Sri Lankan food, like sometimes they go overboard, and I'm just like, why?
You just need to eat spicy food all the time. You gotta tame your mouth.
That means you're what? A sadist? No, wait. You like pain, right? So that essentially means you're a masochist, right? Is that what that is?
Tame your mouth? Really, Suzu?
Sounds difficult.
Anyways, after the mall, what do you want to do? We could go to the Pink Lady Cafe and chill out with Kay. I'm sure she'd love the company. But we have to stop by the arcade. They have this new game out called Orion. You get to control this guy named Isaku, and you're part of the rebel forces, and you get to shoot things, and there's robots, and...
Okay.
Sheesh, we get it, Suzu, we get it. We'll go to the arcade.
Which one first, though? You know how popular Kay is? She'll probably be swarmed with customers later in the day.
I'd rather go in the late afternoon. She has better options during the last hour of the cafe. So basically after the arcade? You figured me out so quickly, Patterson. What did I tell you about using my last name?
Well, we gotta go to the arcade, because, you know, I want Zuzu. So we headed to the mall and walked around for a good amount of time before driving out to Moonfall Arcade. As weird as the name sounded, the arcade was one of the best arcades in the city. Kids and teenagers lined up with games, watching the players at consoles as they anxiously wait for their turn.
Oh, there it is!
Suzu grabbed Naomi and me by the hands and dragging us to the section of arcades where a bunch of kids have gathered in awe and excitement. In the middle of the crowd was a large game with 2 joystick platforms and the screen that flashed the name Orion every other second. In the background of the screen, a holographic playfield glimmered before us, revealing a neo-futuristic battlefield, an enemy robot charging right at the camera.
This is the game you were excited about?
It looks really cool.
That's right! And I'm gonna play it so hard I'll beat the game in one shot.
Suzu smirked at me, hoping that I would join her. As I usually did for partner games. I looked to Naomi, who merely rolled her eyes, crossed her arms, and gave me the okay nod. I grinned before nodding to Zuzu, who cheered in joy.
Woohoo! Alright, let's do this.
She's such a nerd. I kind of feel bad for Naomi, because I get the feeling she's, like, not happy that we're siding with Zuzu, you know? Like, I don't know. It took us a good half an hour before we were able to step onto the platform. The point of the game was to beat the government and restore freedom to the general public. We played as rebels in the robot, and the game quickly became a smash and bash game versus multiplayer enemy robots. Playing with Zuzu was always an adventure. We both knew what our strengths and weaknesses were, so it was easy to collaborate with each other. It wasn't long before we got into the swing of the game and were beating enemies like crazy. By the time we got to the boss, we were unstoppable. It was so refreshing to beat the boss and put our 3-letter code names in the high score list.
And that is how you game. We are unstoppable, Anderson.
This is getting gay! Suzu gave me a large smile, which made me smile back. I was happy to be able to hang out with and have fun with my friends like this. I felt free from worries or responsibilities. It was something I loved. We eventually lost track of time and wound up staying longer than we expected, making us unable to stop at the cafe before going home to dress for the housewarming party. So we jumped back. Naomi and Zuzu picked up the clothes and unnecessary items for their house before driving back to the mansion. The hour of the house party has arrived. In my mind, I kept triple checking the essentials for the party, knowing my dad. He invited his business partners and executives of the Anderson Toy Company to show me off. I stood in front of the mirror in my room, staring at the form of a million thoughts that ran through my mind. It was just a housewarming party, but at the same time it wasn't. It was my chance to show my dad that I was better than his expectations. It was a chance for me to see my parents as a woman. It was my test to see if I really was ready to live on my own. Well, not truly alone. I had an incubi to thank, but even so, I didn't have my dad guiding me or my mom helping me through living alone. A knock at my door broke my thoughts, surprising me. Who is it?
Hey, are you okay in there? Your parents should be here soon, so you should hurry getting ready.
Okay, so we're getting ready at their house, or Naomi's house. I don't know whose house we're in. Well, I'm ready, but...
But what? I'm sure you look fine, Anderson. Just come on out.
Alright. Oh, look at them. I like Naomi's dress. It looks cute. As soon as I opened the door to the hall, I watched as Naomi and Zuzu's face turned from smiles to complete awestruck stares. Oh, we're at our house. Whoops. What?
Dude, you look hot.
Yeah, you look amazing. Where did you get that dress?
I've had it for a while. I just never had a chance to wear it. I figured I might as well bring it out now. Hey! Okay. Okay, we're back at the arcade after the boys are training and whatever, and they were kind of busy, so we had to do something. I arrived at the arcade, ready to spend some cash on some fun games. I didn't want to be stuck at home on Sunday. Besides, the arcade always had something new to play, no matter how often you came. I began to wander the aisles of machines, scanning over them to find a good game to play. I had played a lot of games already with Zuzu, so it was just a matter of finding a good one. What finally caught my attention was a crowd of people surrounding a group of machines. I got closer and peeked through the crowd to see Zuzu sitting in the racing game versus 2 other players who were in the same machine behind Zuzu. From what it looks of it, Zuzu was losing and that was causing her angry face.
You're going down!
I like how the guy's name is Jerk.
Kiss my Italian ass!
I stopped with a giggle, watching Zuzu remain playful under stress. She was adorable but feisty, truly a spicy Italian. I observed as Zuzu finally caught up with her opponents and passed them with ease.
What the? Hurry it up!
Later, losers!
The crowd began to cheer, watching Zuzu beat one of the guys and sliding into first place. As the lights and sounds began to blare in celebration, the 2 jerks left the machine in a huff and Zuzu stood up.
Good game, everyone.
Slowly, the crowd began to disperse, leaving me standing to applaud for Zuzu alone. Zuzu smiled as she finally saw me, walking over to me.
Hey, what brings you here?
I was bored. I didn't want to be stuck at home, so I came here. I needed to have some fun after yesterday.
Yeah, man, I get you. Yesterday was full of tightwad business guys. I mean, me and Naomi were pretty uncomfortable, too.
Really? I'm really sorry about that. Zuzu laughed and waved her hand in dismissal of it. She then leaned against the racing game and put her hands in her pockets.
So what do you plan on doing here?
I just wanted to have some fun, some alone time, with play some games. Let's play games together, because this needs to be gay as fuck.
Oh,
Alright.
really? What game do you think you could beat me at?
I think we can do some major damage and beat our high scores in robot extermination. Suzu grinned from ear to ear, nodding before taking my hand and heading over to the machine in question. It was cute to see Zuzu like this. She was always adventurous type, and I loved that side of her beyond anything. I guess this was kept our friendship strong for so long. Eventually, we did reach a large machine covered with images of robots disguised as animal mascots and blood. We took our plastic guns and swiped the game cards across the credit slot.
You take left, I take right.
As usual, let's go! The game quickly started up and we blasted our way through hordes of robots, landing more headshots than professional shooter tournament players. Suzu and I play this game so often, it's pretty much become our go-to high-score game. We always kept the top 5 spots on the leaderboard for ourselves. As we finished the first level, though, we were stunned to see a new leaderboard at the loading screen.
Someone took number 1?
Oh, hell no!
We maxed that level, right?
Mm-hmm. Suzu looked at me with a very familiar deadly look in her eyes. She was determined to regain the number 1, so was I. I knew what this meant. No deaths, quick reloads, and constant headshots and Easter egg points. The whole experience itself ran 2 hours straight. My god! With the main game and its sequel programmed into the machine. Once you finish 1, you immediately begin the next until you reach the end of the second game. At least it had some cutscenes to take breaks between. It'll be tough, but we got this. Suzu nodded before putting her game card into the breast pocket of her jacket and readying herself for the next level. I braced myself for a long game.
Hey Anderson, let's make this a little more fun. Whoever has the least amount of headshots has to treat the other to lunch.
I mean, at this point, how much money are we spending at the arcade? It's okay though, I have a mansion now, so whatever. It's almost 2 p.m. Zuzu.
There's such a thing as late lunch.
Alright, you're on.
Second level, start.
And we're off. Virtual bullets began to fly across the screen, slamming into the heads of multiple robots and causing them to fall on the floor and die out. One by one, Zuzu and I burned through the game like our lives depended on it. We eventually had a crowd form behind us, cheering us on, offering us food so that we wouldn't have to leave the machine. Most of them were guys who like girl on gun action, oh god, but some of them were actually excited bystanders, hoping that we would take back our high scores. It's always like, oh my god, gamer girl guys, right? We snacked a bit, taking breaks between cutscenes and level changes, but we are remaining true to our goal. Eventually, we made it to the final boss, a giant black bear robot with red eyes and deadly attacks.
Let's go, Anderson!
Right behind you! The crowd behind us began to cheer as we began their final battle. Our lives were a little wobbly, but we were too into the game to care. All we cared about was the large red bar at the top of the screen slowly emptying with each bullet we fired into the boss's body. We only had a few shots left when someone called out.
You girls suck!
Without missing a shot, Zuzu and I replied at once.
You wish we did!
Before landing the final blow to our opponent, the death cutscene flashed and played on the screen. The scream of the robot bear booming through the speaker. Zuzu and I weren't excited just yet. We were waiting for the high score screen to appear. It was the final high score screen of the entire game, so it was just the most important screen in our eyes. Come on, come on!
New high school.
Yes! The screen popped up revealing the code SCA as number 1 on the score in the game, knocking down our mysterious MAL. Malix? Opponent to the second place. The crowd behind us went ballistic as Zuzu and I hugged each other tightly in joy. It was like stepping over a major milestone despite it only being an arcade game. We did it! Woohoo! The second stat screen came up, separating Zuzu and I from our hug of delight. In a matter of accuracy, I was better. However, Zuzu had more kills and headshots, making her the winner of our little bet.
Booyah! Free lunch!
I mean... fine! Alright, where to, boss?
I just want some drive-thru food. I've been eating way too many home-cooked meals, man. I need at least one unhealthy meal.
Suzu's family was indeed an Italian family, but they were very self-conscious about their food. They were quite possibly the healthiest family I knew, really. Suzu and I left the arcade, occasionally stopping to give a praise or be asked a question about our game skills. We eventually headed out to the parking lot where our decently used Jade motorcycle sat in chains around its wheels. Suzu quickly took off the chains and took a seat on the bike, getting out 2 helmets, placing one on her head, and ushering me to sit behind her. I followed her gesture, making myself comfortable on the leather seat behind her. She has a motorcycle too, my god. Putting on one of the helmets and wrapping my arms around her waist. I had ridden with her on a motorcycle before, so this is nothing new to us. Zuzu revved her engine and quickly sped out of the lot, driving into the streets towards the fast food joint.
Does Paradise Parlor sound good? I'd love some Paradise Nuggets and cheese fries.
Sure! Yeah, sounds good! We went through the drive-thru and ordered meals for ourselves before heading to my home. Zuzu parked in front, watching me dismount from her bike.
Thanks for late lunch.
Might as well be dinner now. Zuzu and I laughed. It was funny how time flew by. At any time, see you? Want to stick around? Hey, want to eat in front of my house?
Huh? Oh, nah, man. I gotta head back home and watch Francesca while my folks meet up with some bigwigs from the casino.
Oh, okay. See you in school then.
Thanks, though. See ya!
Alright, bye. Guess we're not gonna eat under the stars then! I waved at Zuzu as she quickly headed out of the gates and back home. I smiled as I watched her go before heading back inside. Suzu stuck around in my mind for a little longer than I expected, but I couldn't help but smile. The remainder of the night passed by, surprisingly uneventful. The boys continued to train with each other, but were kind enough to stop and make me dinner. I was glad for that. Unsurprisingly, the food was perfect, but it felt a little empty without the boys to eat with me. They mostly likely had already eaten, but still I felt lonely. I couldn't let it bother me. I ate and went back to my room and studied and sleep. Surprisingly, I felt good going to bed that night. I felt like I could have a peaceful sleep after the previous rough nights I had. I felt good. Okay, so I skipped everything. We, fought Malix in the warehouse, blah, blah, blah. Now we got a visit from Diana, and apparently we have to give up our memories if we forget about the Incubi brothers and then just kind of have like a normal life, but instead we're going on with Naomi and Zuzu. So I have to say, give up the memories. My mind began to wander. Were the memories truly worth my life? I remember the way the boys helped organize the house party and helped me home after Malix's ordeal. But then I remembered I'm only human. I wasn't a demon. I wasn't special. The world of magic was too large for me. I already had one world to face without magic being involved. I felt a wave of sadness run through me, playing the memories of all that had happened the past few days one last time before speaking up. Fine, take my memories. I couldn't keep them. They were beyond my world. They were beyond what I needed to know. I was never meant to know them. Diana nodded.
Glad you understand now.
The pit beast below me closed its jaw, vanishing into nothing as if I lowered onto the ground. I stood up straight and looked to Diana, resolved. Diana sighed before closing her arms and muttering Latin phrase under her breath. Loud enough for me to barely hear. She then opened her hand and revealed a small purple vial. What is that?
A memory potion. It will remove all of the memories of demons and magic from your mind. With the memories gone, you can live your life as free as you want.
What about the boys?
I have a spell for them.
Oh.
As soon as you drink that potion, you sign your contract with me, and I will take the boys back to where they belong.
Will they remember me?
I'll make sure they won't. They won't even remember ever thinking about coming to the human world.
That's kind of sad if you think about it. Why didn't you use it before now? Oh, why do I have to drink it knowingly?
Because demon magic isn't black and white, dear. The one catch is that the potion has to be drunk with full natural consent.
That's good, at
least. So I can't just slip it into your chocolate milk or pour it into your mouth as you sleep. That's the downside of good succubus magic.
So I'll be...
a plain, boring human. No potential, no abilities, no memories to even have abilities. You'll be a plain Jane girl in a plain Jane world.
I nodded before looking to the vial, my memories in exchange for my humanity. I popped the cork of the vial and gingerly brought it to my lips. Goodbye magic, goodbye demons, goodbye strange future. Hello normalcy. I tilted my head back and chugged the drink down, feeling its magic already starting to work as it reached inside my mouth. I felt dizzy and sick, but I sucked down every drop of the liquid. I felt the memories of the boys fade away. I never met them in my house when I moved in. I never was attacked by Malix or his goons. I was never kidnapped. I never met Diana. After I finished drinking, I felt my body grow weak, almost becoming unable to continue standing up. My vision was blurry and fuzzy, and I couldn't help but let my eyes shut. I asked for this. I wouldn't have the boys protecting me anymore. I didn't even open my eyes when I finally fell forward into Diana's arms.
It's for your own good, sweetie. Forget about it and be normal. I'm sorry.
I felt my mind slowly relax. There were no demons, no devils, no magic to drive me crazy. Everything was normal. Everything was peaceful. Everything was ordinary. Just the way Diana wanted. Just the way I wanted. Eventually, the morning arrived and the sun screamed at me to get up. Surprisingly, I woke up before my alarm, which was nice. I stretched out and quickly got dressed. Getting ready for school, I went over in my mind what happened over the weekend and suddenly felt wary. I had moved in on Friday night, held a house party Saturday, and enjoyed my Sunday. Yep, sounds right. Yep, we completely forgot about the boys. This is weird. I scooped up my bag and headed downstairs to the dining room. The room was empty and I felt hungry. I needed to eat something. I looked at my phone and saw a text I must have completely forgotten about.
Dude, are you okay? Did the drive home yesterday go okay with your dad?
I tried to remember, but for some reason, yesterday's events seemed blurry and almost blank. I remember going to school, dealing with Lysette, then going home. I don't remember, however, ever being picked up by him. I must have been, or else I wouldn't have been... Oh yeah, that's right, the boys... No, Malik's got me, and then they confused it with the dad. Got it. I must have been, or else I wouldn't have be safe at home. I rubbed my head, trying to shake out the exhaustion. Damn, studying. I sighed and texted back. Sorry, I forgot to text you back. Everything was fine. See you when you get here. I made myself some quick toast and coffee, needing a jump start. I felt drained and I didn't want to fall asleep in class. Something bothered me though. My house felt empty, or at least emptier than when I came for some reason. I couldn't put my finger on it, but it slightly bothered me. I finished my food and quickly rushed to the front, waiting for Naomi's car and confident that nothing was going to happen. I avoided talking about what happened yesterday. I'll be riding with you guys from now on to school. As we entered the school, we quickly gathered our things for our lockers and headed to class. There were no events, to my surprise. Naomi and Zuzu took their seats around me, Zuzu in front of me, Naomi beside me, before the class bell rang and the class was greeted by our teacher. History wasn't as boring as economics, but I still managed to space out in that class just the same. Zuzu seemed very tense, focused on her desk more than usual. I was almost tempted to poke her to see what's wrong. My phone, though, vibrated in my pocket. Thank God I set it on vibrate before class. Pulled out my phone and checked it. Seeing the text from Naomi, I began to text back, suddenly going into a text conversation.
Hey, do you know what's wrong with Suzu?
I don't know.
Oh, I hope she's okay. She looks so stern.
Same here. I looked over once again at Zuzu. She was intensely scribbling in her notebook, almost obsessively so. The gilt on her new-looking purple pencil was almost tight enough to bend it to each stroke she made with it.
Oh, by the way, did you hear?
What?
Apparently, Suzu's family is really involved with the mob. My dad told me he saw Suzu's dad in court this morning with a big-time crime boss.
Oh, what? Really? I couldn't believe it. Was Zuzu okay? I looked over once more. Something made my heart slightly skip at seeing her again. I was worried, yes, but for some reason I felt a little sad. Suzu had always sworn up and down that her family has no relation with the crime lords, yet this happened. Why was this happening? I put my phone back into my pocket, ending the conversation. Hopefully Zuzu would explain things to me soon. I was worried beyond belief about Zuzu's position with her family. Time continued until the end of class period. In that exact status, Zuzu held her tense ground, focusing on nothing but the incoherent scribbles on her paper, while Naomi and I watched in worry, not caring for the class we were in. As the bell rang, Zuzu stood up suddenly.
I gotta go. See you guys later.
Oh no. Zuzu zipped out of the class like she was fleeing the devil himself.
What just happened?
I don't know. Hey, I'm gonna go. Leave her. No, I'm gonna chase after her. I needed to see what was wrong. Zuzu was important to me and I needed to help her. I instantly grabbed my things and rushed out of the room.
Whoa! Where are you going? Hey!
I wasn't listening. I needed to get Zuzu. The hall was full of students, which made me spot Zuzu a little harder. I wish that she was a little taller. Zuzu. I began to push through the crowd, trying to find a trace of her hair, her jacket, anything. I managed to get a glimpse of her green jacket. Instinctively, I followed it down the hall into a classroom. Zuzu's class was on the other way. Where was she going? I continued following and peeked into the class, seeing no one else in there except Zuzu. What shocked me is to see Zuzu standing over an empty desk, slamming her fist into the wood. I didn't know what to do. The world behind me in the hall went slow in motion as I stared at Zuzu's back. She obviously wanted to be alone, but I wanted to help her and fix whatever was bothering her. Would it be bad, cause Zuzu's kind of like a tough girl. I can tell she's kind of like the person who doesn't want to show, if something's bothering her, you know what I mean? She's that kind of person, she'll deal with it herself rather than asking for help. So, maybe would she be bad if I'd be like, hey, do you need help? I couldn't leave her like this. I quietly stepped into the room and closed the door, making Zuzu flinch and freeze up. Zuzu? Zuzu gasped before turning to me, a shocked expression on her face. Tears had painted her cheeks. Oh no, which made my heart sink in my chest. Zuzu, what's wrong?
It's nothing. Nothing.
Zuzu quickly rubbed her eyes and face, trying to cover her face and clean it up with sadness. I pressed my lips together, not believing her. Zuzu, talk to me. You were acting strange in history.
I was just listening to the lecture.
You were scribbling in your notebook. I was watching almost the entire class period.
Bad handwriting.
That was true, but she wouldn't write notes about class. She didn't care as much for class, unlike Naomi and me. Why was she lying to me? What was going on? What was making her so distraught? Zuzu, whatever's troubling you, let me help you.
You can't help me, okay?
I stepped back, feeling the sudden anger in her voice. She covered her mouth, regretting what came out of it, and stood almost in pure fright at me. Zuzu. I stepped towards her, not wanting to scare her, but wanting to be closer. Zuzu didn't seem affected, so I continued to walk towards her. Eventually, we were the only desk away from each other. Tell me. Suzu stared before letting out a shuddered sigh, nodding in defeat. I slowly took the seat in the desk in front of me, watching as she moved to stand in front of it.
I've been having some issues, okay?
Issues? What about?
I'm supposed to help out the casino after graduation.
Isn't that good? It's a job, so it'll pay.
Yeah, pay. In blood money.
What do you mean? Is something going on at the casino?
Yeah, I get the pleasure of being a true Italian.
What do you mean?
Well, my dad's always wanted to own a casino, but my dad's an immigrant and whatever, so language barriers kept him from doing that. Luckily, my mom's pure Chicagoan, and so she knows English. When they opened up the casino together, I thought it'd be a great experience.
But it wasn't, was it?
A couple of suits showed up to our house last night. Mafia suits. They claimed that we were under protection as part of the Capone family.
Wait, why? That's really rare. I don't understand why, though. No, wait. Suzu.
Look, I knew my family was a little messed up, but to be related to Capone was beyond crazy. My mother swore up and down that she had no relation to them, but apparently, through a marriage and a couple contracts, we're technically part of the family.
Okay.
Even if it isn't true, they made my folks sign out a protection license.
It was crazy. Al Capone was the Chicago mobster, Robin Hood, but knew how to keep a family together. I never knew Zuzu's family was so involved. With Zuzu so protective of her family, it's no wonder she was upset. She preached so often that her family wasn't involved in things like that. Even Naomi defended her. I had to stop. This wasn't helping Zuzu. I needed to help her feel better beyond anything else. So what happens to you?
Nothing. We pay a part of our profit to the family, and we're protected. Protected my ass. It's bribe money to make sure we don't lose business or get bombed.
Suzu stared down at the desk between us, her hands tightening into fists.
This is bullshit. I was gonna be normal. I was gonna be happy. I was gonna finally be normal enough to ask you out.
What? You're gonna ask me out? I felt like I was dreaming. What? She wanted to ask me out? Huh? When? How? Suzu covered her mouth and stared at me, as if she slapped me and regretted moving her hand. I stared, lost in my own thoughts. Zuzu pounded the desk with her fists again.
Fuck! This is great! Just great! Just turn around.
Why? You're gonna ask me out when I turn around? I stood and turned around, obeying her, lost in my own train of thought. I needed to do anything I could help her subconsciously. I could hear Zuzu grumbling to herself.
This is stupid. Stupid! You need to stop. You might as well go. I mean, this is good.
Zuzu groaned. I could feel her mixed emotions radiating onto my back. I felt myself step forward, away from Zuzu's reaction. Quickly, though, Zuzu grabbed a hold of my vest, froze, breaking from my own thoughts. Oh, is it gonna be cute? Yo, she's really short. I did not realize that compared to Anderson.
I like you. I really do, okay?
I felt my heart flutter in flattery. Zuzu was one of my best friends, liked me. I wasn't sure what to say. Zuzu gripped on my vest tighten, pulling me slightly. I wanted to turn and hug her, but right now she needed her to let her emotions out.
I like you, but I don't want to ask you out like this. I don't want people to think you're affiliated with the Mafia kid. This whole situation is just messed up, and
I felt my heart drop. She cared about me and wanted to protect me from her reputation. I was flattered, but at the same time I was angry. She was my best friend and she liked me enough to confess her feelings to me despite her situation. What could I say to her, though? This was a huge deal for both her and me. She had been one of my best friends for the majority of my life, and she was confessing to having a crush on me. It was surreal, yet it made me both very strange and fluffy. Susie sighed and let go of my vest. I turned around to see her run her fingers through her hair.
Look, I'm sorry. I guess I needed to vent. I feel better now.
Yeah, then tell me you love me. I mean, that's cool too. I couldn't help but stare at Zuzu longer. Was she not expecting me to say anything in return? A sentence bubbled in my stomach, forcing itself out of my mouth without filter. Hey, go out with me! You should totally go out with me. That would make you feel better, right? I did not know what came over me. I let it spill out. I liked her, though. I liked her a lot. She was a badass and cute in her own special way. I loved that she was an individual and stayed true to herself no matter what Naomi or I did. She was a little aggressive, but that added to the charm. Suzy stared wide-eyed at me, blushing red as could be. I was positive that she blushed any more, she would faint from all the blood rushing to her cheeks to color them that red.
Did you just...
Yes, I did. I stepped forward and gently took Zuzu's hand. I needed her to know that how I felt. She poured her feelings out to me. It was more than fair to share mine with her. I really like you too. You're adorable, and I love that about you. You're caring and fun, and you have this sort of charm. Zuzu, will you go out with me? Zuzu was hang on one second. How is Anderson this calm asking her out? Dude, I'd be freaking out. Even though it was my best friend, I would still freak out inside. How is she so calm? Zuzu was completely red in the face, but her eyes started to water. Rogue tears dripped down from the edges of her eyes and she almost glared at me.
But what about...
I don't care. We'll deal with it when it comes, but for now, I want to be with you, truly. Zuzu stared before rushing at me and hugging me tightly, burying her face in my chest. I held her tightly, wanting to comfort her. I felt a small part of her heart filled with pure joy. I felt happy, like nothing was going to stand in our way. Months went by since Zuzu's confession. We were happily and eventually graduation came along. The rest of the story almost could be passed over. I graduated from school as one of the top 10 students in my class. Well, congratulations! My family was proud, even my dad. Maybe it was because I did my best in school. Maybe it was because I was finally a woman in his eyes. Suzu, my girlfriend, went to work at the casino right after school, learning both security and machine design. I guess her love of video games drew her interest into slot machines. Soon she was able to fix broken or hacked machines within mere moments. As for her family, they weren't afraid of the protection they had, but they were cautious with every business meeting they held with bank bigwigs. Suzu would often drag me to the arcade to blow off some steam if something went wrong. But what of my future? Well, with Suzu's support, I finally decided to stand up for myself. After I graduated, Andrew and I presented our class to the board, decided to have Andrew step in as the CEO position of the Anderson Toy Company. My father was beyond shocked. I congratulated Andrew and went with the University of Chicago to get a degree, while Andrew dedicated himself to full-time to the company. You know, it's for the best. You can't really... like I said in the other previous, Let's Plays, I said that, even though Mika doesn't really want to be the CEO of the company, and I get it's part of her family, you can't really force people to do it. I get it's it runs in the family, but you can't force them to do it. Andrew vowed to respect the wishes of the late CEO and help the company become even grander company. Andrew had a large amount of heart, so it was easily accomplished. My grandfather would have been proud to see how Andrew helped it shine. With the CEO position filled, my father had no choice but to let me decide my future, which made me happy beyond compare. No longer would I have the future scaring me into the corner. I could choose my life. I could choose my own life. I could choose my life on my own. That being said, I was scared of where the future was going to take me. What did I want to do? Did I want to help Andrew build the company? Did I want to venture off on my own? Suzy reassured me that she would support me and help me through whatever I decide to do. I was grateful and would never forget that promise. I was happy and nothing could shake me down from that happiness. One morning I woke up and took in all that had happened as if it were a dream. My life seemed to fall perfectly into place. It was almost surreal.
Is everything as you wanted, sweetie?
Diana? I sharply turned my head to see a woman dressed in gold and black gown staring at me with unnatural red eyes. For some reason, I felt that she was familiar. I just couldn't place my finger on it. She twirled around in a small purple pencil, smiling with a happy look. I, however, wasn't happy to have suddenly intruder. Who are you?
There's no need to worry about who I am. I just wanted to make sure you got what you desired. I didn't want to just leave you empty-handed.
Okay, I get you're true and you're being kind, Diana, but this is really creepy. You just broke into my house. What I desired? Making no sense, yet in my heart I felt like it did. Something about her was making my heart both elate and anger, but I couldn't pin down why. How did she even appear in my room in the first place? Whoever you are, you need to leave. I will not hesitate to call the police.
Oh, I'm leaving, all right. I just wanted a small pick-me-up. Chasing down boys and bringing them home was a hard job and took a lot out of me.
I felt suddenly weak staring at the woman. I felt warm and fuzzy inside my body, and I wanted the woman to cure me. Why was I feeling like this?
Would you mind if I steal a little kiss for the road? It'll be a long trip.
Oh,
to
right,
London,
because she doesn't have enough
and I need
energy
make
to
sure
go back
I have
home.
the energy to get there.
Yeah, that's right.
It's only fair since I helped you get your little happy ending. No?
I felt myself nod. What was I doing? The woman smiled before walking over, leaning over me and kissing my cheek. I felt waves of energy deplete from my body through my cheek. I felt elated and confused, but almost moaned at the feel of the kiss. After a small moment, the woman finally stepped away and licked her lips. She rubbed her finger over her lips and stepped away from me. I couldn't help but stare blankly at surprise and confused. I couldn't help but stare blankly at her in surprise and confusion.
Lovely. Now, this is the last time you'll see me.
Okay.
I hope you and your little Suzu have a wonderful life together.
The woman placed a purple pencil into her cleavage of her dress and began to leave the room. I was too stunned to move, but I watched the woman open the balcony, floated up, and drop from the balcony.
And thus, my price is paid.
I heard her voice echo in my mind before I heard the snapping of a pencil breaking my thoughts. What was I thinking about? Oh, yes, my life. She erased her memory. I let my mind wander to my future before my phone starts ringing, and I instantly pick it up. Hello?
Hey, can I come over?
Yeah, sure. What's wrong?
I just need to see you, okay?
Okay, I'll see you in a bit. I grew worried. What was wrong? Did something happen? My mind began to sort through possibilities that could have occurred with Zuzu. Soon enough, I heard Zuzu's motorcycle pull up at the gate. I rushed to the front doors and opened them to see Zuzu looking at me with seriously distressed eyes.
Tell me you love me.
What? Zuzu, what's...
Just tell me.
Alright, I love you, okay?
You love me?
I love you. I love you a lot, okay? Now, what's... Before I knew it, Zuzu rushed to me and held me tightly. I gasped, but wrapped my arms around Zuzu, trying to comfort her despite my confusion. She was obviously needing some love right now. I would get my answers when she was okay.
I love you too. I never felt like this with anyone.
Aww. Shh, it's okay, Zuzu, it's okay. I held her close, patting her head gently. When Zuzu relaxed in my arms, she looked up at me, tears in her eyes.
My parents want you to come over for dinner.
Wait, what?
My parents want to meet you as my girlfriend.
Yay!
They were shocked when they found out you and I were together.
Oh, so they haven't told
It's really
anyone.
embarrassing, and I don't want you to feel pressured, but they're serious. And now that they're connected with the mob, then...
Shh, Zuzu, shh. I placed a finger over her lips, making her stare up at me in surprise. I would love to have dinner with your folks as your girlfriend. I'd do anything for you. Oh! Oh, that's so cute! Suzu smiled widely at me, more tears falling down her cheeks. She wrapped her arms up around my arms and kissed me lovingly, surprising me. As soon as she did, though, she pulled away.
I didn't mean to.
Feeling bold, I grabbed her hand and pulled her back to me, wrapping my arms around her and kissing her with the same amount of love she gave me. She was shocked, but I felt her relax in my arms. She kissed me back. I didn't want to wake up if this was indeed a dream. I felt as if light as feather, not wanting to ever let go of this woman in my arms. There were no words that could describe the emotion within me. I felt joy, happiness, ecstatic high all at once. Here I was, holding the woman I wanted to be with like nothing else mattered. I vowed to cherish her and love her for the remainder of my days and beyond. And that was my happily ever after. And Zuzu's love! Hey! So that's the ending! Good ending for Zuzu. Okay, like, I know, once again, I know this is Micheala's, like, first game that she's ever made, and she's improved hell of a lot more, now that she has created, her newer games. So, I can see, compared to that and this now, this is a little bit cheesy, I'm not gonna lie, like, the whole, like, thing with, like, Zuzu and, Mika, it was, like, how do I describe this? It's kind of like very simple, I guess, in a way. The story, the way that it was written, mainly because I'm used to like playing a lot of like LGBTQ plus games, right? And I know how like in depth those can be. And I get, well, like I said earlier, I get this is Michaela's first game, so it's not like spectacular with the writing just yet. But I know she's gonna improve, especially with the fact that she's making All For You, which includes female roots. So, you know, I did enjoy this. It's not saying that I didn't enjoy it or anything like that. I did enjoy this a lot because, like, there's not a lot of Otome games that include gay roots because the whole definition of a Otome is, like, aimed for females who are into dating sims, but dating sims with guys. But you know, that's generally suggested at straight people, right? But they forget that people who are not straight also play Otome games. So where's the gay roots? AKA, I'm looking for them because I am not straight. So I do appreciate Micheala including gay roots in this, because, like, you know, there's not a lot of, like, Otomes or whatever dating sims that include that. So I really appreciate her for doing that. Anyway, with that being said, I'm gonna end this Let's Play. I hope you guys enjoyed. Remember to leave a like, subscribe, and hit the bell button. Also, let me know in the comments what you thought about Zuzu's route, especially if you haven't seen it before. I'm gonna do Naomi's and then Andrew's eventually. You guys can stay tuned for that. But like I said in the beginning, if you guys would like to download the game yourself, I'll leave a link in the description and the playlist to all of my Let's Plays of the Seduce series. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye! No! Oh god! Utah? Utah, is that you? And sometimes that brings people together in a not so cute way. Here are 6 terribly awkward romances in video games. Number 6. Cole and Elsa.